Hello everyone, glad to have you back. Here we are, we're going to be talking about foreclosures today. And let me tell you, this is one way that they are absolutely screwing the Canadian people. Now, every foreclosure you will ever see has been done unlawfully and wrongfully. We are just not aware of it, and we're going to make you aware of exactly how they're doing it today. Okay guys, so in a foreclosure situation, you will be served paperwork. In that paperwork, there will be a photocopy of the mortgage agreement you signed. There will be a sworn affidavit by one of their employees stating that they saw you sign the documentation. And then a third is that they're going to have a copy of title showing their lien and their encumbrance, the mortgage, against your home. So, what does all that mean? It looks pretty scary when you first see it, but when you break it down, it means nothing. Now, here's your response to all three of them. The first one is the mortgage agreement, a photocopy. That is not verifiable proof that they own anything. You see, they could have taken the mortgage note, the original wet ink copy of the mortgage is the asset. So if they took that asset and they sold it, but provided you with a photocopy, that's like buying a car from somebody, and when it's time to show them the asset, they show you a picture of the car. It's exactly the same thing. The wet ink copy is the asset that you sign, and a photocopy is just a picture of the asset. It is not verifiable proof. If you bring this up, this will help you in court, I guarantee you. Number two, the affidavit stating that an employee saw you sign a contract. Okay guys, we are not debating the fact we signed a contract. What we're debating the fact is if they sold the debt. Now keep in mind guys, if they sold the debt, they get paid. If you sell something, you get paid. So now if they go and take your house, they just got paid twice. And to stop this, these are the things you need to know. All right. Now, number three, this is when they show you a copy of a title that shows a lien on it. Land Titles does not keep track of all of the private mortgages and all of the mortgages being sold. They just don't do that. So you see, them showing you an encumbrance against your title with the mortgage is not verifiable proof that they are still the rightful owner of that debt. You see, with Land Titles, they don't keep track of that stuff. It must be reported to them. If it's not reported, well then they don't do anything about it. So sure, they can be showing you a copy of title. So when you ask them, can I get verifiable proof that you have not sold the debt, all you're asking for is a sworn affidavit from a chartered accountant stating that they looked into the bank's ledgers and the debt was not sold. Now, they have many chartered accountants working for them. So this is a very reasonable request. How hard would it be for a bank to find a chartered accountant, they have many of them working for them, to put something together in writing that states very clearly that they looked into the ledgers and the debt has not been sold, it still appears in the ledgers. It's very simple for a bank to find an accountant. And we should mention, the Canadian rules of court is very clear. Proof of ownership of the debt is a sworn affidavit by a chartered accountant. So we're not making up these rules, these are the Canadian rules of court. Now furthermore, if they sold the debt, they're no longer an affected party. If you sell something, you're no longer an affected party. You cannot sue. For example, if I sold you a car and 3 weeks later it got vandalized and we know who vandalized it, can I sue them for vandalizing the car? No, I can't. I sold the asset, therefore I'm no longer an affected party. And the Canadian rules of court is very clear. You must be an affected party to bring an action to court. So in itself, the foreclosure action would be null and void if they're not an affected party, if they actually sold the debt. Very important stuff to understand. I guarantee you, if you bring this stuff up in court, it will help you. Now, don't forget to complain. It's very important for us to unite and then see that. So just look down in the description. It's going to tell you exactly how to complain and how you will be entered into this group actively seeking to access their birth certificate bond. Keep in touch, keep looking. We've got lots more to tell you. You guys have a great day.